Mr. Mahama, the next presidential election in Ghana will be in 2024. Have you officially thrown your hat in the ring? Do you plan to run again?
No, I haven't, Heidi.
Well, word on the street, let me put it that way.
Well, it's good to keep your opponent guessing. And so even if I'm not running, I'm not going to say I'm not running. So a decision will be taken early next year in the first quarter. That's when we hold our party's primaries for the presidential candidacy. And we'll see.
Ebusia for me mama kwaba Ghana Celebrities TV. Ye former President John Dramani Mahama ena okupie mu wa United States of America. Na okọ honom no ye grantee ni interview owo mo TV stations baako. Na interview ni mu no ye bisa ne nsem bebre. Manusi a me di video no ebeto amoso. Nsem ni bi na omo bisa former president ne say does he have plans of standing for presidential candidate or 2024 elections ni muana and also no ankasa mpo de wonim say obe standi bi mana so on stand san say omonyan hold you omo primaries na primaries no they hold it next year year 2023 mo hono mo san bi san say hardship just say komne ahochira wa Ghana no what are some of the plans are senka or winning 2024 election seats na or the beto akwemu ama Ghana for ahochire no aba form and also ono de anka IMF International Monetary Fund no busia no anka obekwa akwaje sanse busia no omoye no in such a way say when a country is in need no obetimi akoho akwaje saa busia no na or the abua ne country nti ono senkai ono anka obekwa akwaje saa busia no na or the abua na obe create revenues at say emebunu no youth no ebetimi anya adwuma aye den aye yesam bisa ne say enti say no plans ben na odi ato akwemu efa 2024 elections no your president no saka say ono de omo party na odi kan no omo nyan hodi omo primaries enti primaries na 2023 na omo be hodi omo primaries no ka asem ba ko bi at say ye obi ada asem no kan so say no African countries no intertrading say no yetimi trade ewo yaye mu ene otie say Ghana at the house call one of the African countries and a Kenyan so at the tea Ghana into no dear de but it's just that the level of intertrading very low very low or say 11% out of 100% into senka yetimi raising neko 50% krana anka de the former president no or KP and a medical kind manusi a ebekwa akoshe video no jumede ye Xcode ahana mede trending news fire celebrities nyina ho bro media ne selikem ofem mama ga mejo so Ghana Celebrities TV ni onyan subscribe ya me sure no subscribe na wa share na comment makramo.
Well, so, turning to the situation in the country, and you have been very outspoken about the economic turmoil that you are seeing in Ghana. The country is enduring deep economic problems, rampant inflation. Now, of course, this is not unique to Ghana. We're seeing this globally. But we saw protests in the country in June against the high cost of living. And you've, for a long time, called on the government to accept assistance from the IMF. It has now changed course and has turned to the International Monetary Fund for help. But Mr. Mahama, you also came under fire about how you handled the economy during your tenure. Should you run for president, should you have a chance to lead your country again, what would you do differently that you didn't do the first time around? What would you do differently next time?
I'll just say something a little bit to look at the two circumstances under which we went into the IMF. We are all members of the IMF, and so it's a body we go to when you have some macroeconomic instability. And so at the time I was president, yes, we suffered macroeconomic instability due to two factors, internal and external. External, you get shocked from time to time. We had the commodity price shocks, the slowdown in China. But internally, we overshot our expenditures because we introduced a new wage policy that sought to make the remuneration in the public sector more uniform. And it shot the wage bill far above what we had anticipated. Almost 73% of our revenues was going to pay wages and salaries alone. And so that forced us to go into the IMF. This government has twin problems. One is macroeconomic instability, because expenditures far exceed revenues. Revenues are not performing properly. But then the second thing is also that they went on a borrowing spree and they've pushed our debts to levels that are unsustainable. Just recently, the World Bank came and said we had almost 104% of debt to GDP. And so we have twin problems. One, to achieve fiscal consolidation, and two, to bring debts back to sustainable levels. So that's what they're faced with.